caused quite a stir with some of these Justin Fields videos that are going on around the internet. So we want to just start at the beginning here. What do you think of the Bears quarterback? What's your position on Justin Fields?
Well, he's much better than he was a year ago. I think the remark that I made about it was really about Trey Lance, and I just kind of misquoted it, but it doesn't make any difference. Justin is, I think he's much better again. Like I said, from last year, I think he's getting coached. They're disciplined. I don't know if he's good enough to be in the pocket and win with. That's what he has to do. I don't know if he can do that. He's played in big games, so that part, you feel good about. But how is he as a passer? I don't know. And the one thing I do know about the NFL, at that position, you have to be a good passer. You got to be an established passer before you start thinking about running and doing all that other stuff. So you can beat them by throwing the football, then win games by running. But first and foremost is your ability to be a good passer. I don't know if he's that yet or not. I don't know if he ever will be.
So when you said it was about Trey Lance, the hopeless part, so hopeless was Trey Lance. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the game, they misquoted me. The game was, it was in reference to the defense feeling hopeless after that first half. Yeah, you watch that defense from the 49ers, they looked like it was just hopeless. They couldn't, the offense wasn't going to do anything. So I've been in that situation before. It's kind of a ugly feeling.
So when you said that the quarterback play was deflating the team by halftime, that was in regards to Fields or Lance, just to clarify?
Lance.
Oh, okay.
Lance.
Okay. Because Justin played so much better in the second half. Did you see the second half? Did you see his performance there?
Yeah, I watched the whole game. That's what I said. I think he's much better than he was a year ago. I thought Trey Lance was not very good. That's who the comment was about. And I think it just got it misconstrued, but that doesn't make any difference. That's fine.
Well, I mean, I think people, I assume you want your comments to be interpreted correctly. And what's been interesting, Mike, has been like Justin Fields has 11 starts, Trey Lance has 3. It feels a little soon to call either of them hopeless or lost causes, right?
No, it's a hopeless situation when you can't move the football in the second half.
Yeah.
It's hopeless, and you can call either one of them hopeless, but it's just not quoted properly, I guess.
We have these quarterbacks who do a lot of damage outside the pocket as scramblers, as playmakers. And I obviously both of these guys, and particularly our guy Fields that we have here, have a long way to go as pocket passers. So there's nuance there, right? There's nuance there to talk about, but it sounds like you've written Justin Fields off as a pocket passer.
Yeah, I think so. From what I've seen, I don't know that he can do it. I just don't think he can. I don't know if he's ever been that consistent as a passer, but Holmes, for instance, as a pocket passer is pretty special. Lamar, he can flat throw the football. I don't know that he is that kind of a passer. I haven't seen him do it, so if he hasn't done it, it makes you kind of suspicious that he can, I guess.
So that's the thing. Like we can see that and see that there's room to grow. Have you seen quarterbacks get better week to week, season to season as a pocket passer? If the scheme fits them better and they get more comfortable, confident, et cetera. Have you seen the growth in your life?
Yeah, the biggest thing about that is how fast he can see and react to things. And a lot of that is teaching as they come into the league. Now, he didn't get prepared his rookie season. This staff, I think, is a real good staff. They're disciplined, and he's getting coached, obviously. So they'll bring him along the right way. But you either have that, guys, or you don't have it. To be able to see and react quickly, it's just like you look at Herbert, his first game, they lose the quarterback, he comes off the bench, he just lights it up. He gets it, he has it. He has the ability to see and react quickly with the football, and I think he can improve it somewhat. Just Jay Cutler didn't really have that. He was a guy that wanted to hang on to the ball and watch guys come open. But so there's things you have to manage about that. But the one thing he could do is he could flat throw the football now. And I don't know if Trey can do that. Hopefully he can.
So how would you explain a guy like Josh Allen?
Josh Allen's a hell of a passer.
Yeah, but I mean, at the beginning...
Whoa, hang on a second.
Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah, first and foremost, the son of a gun is a good passer. Don't give me all that other crap. Now, then he can run and do all that stuff, but the guy's a passer.
Well, right, but my point is that statistically, Josh Allen, his first couple of years in the league, showed absolutely nothing special as a passer, statistically.
No, you're right, and he got developed. But I'll tell you,
so that's what I'm saying. Would that not, Coach, then be
suggest? There wasn't a whole lot around him. I think when he came out, everybody thought he was had excellent passing skills. I didn't think that about Fields. I don't think he was a very inconsistent passer, had missed throws, and I just don't think he's a real good passer. Now coming out, Josh Allen, if you watch him in college, he could flat throw the football and he hit guys. Now the rest of it, you just got to bring him along to the speed of the game, and that's what Justin will have to adjust to.
Yeah, but Fields doesn't have a lot around him either, Coach.
No, he doesn't.
And
he doesn't.
And at least Allen had consistent offensive coaching his first few years in the league, and Fields was a back-to-back Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year. I don't think he ever ran for more than 400-something yards in college, so he did that passing the football at Ohio State. So I'm just giving that as an example of a guy who very clearly developed as he went through the first few years of his career, and yes, got more pieces around him, right? Got Gabriel Davis, got Stephon Diggs, of course, but like that to me is a prototypical example of a guy who got better from the pocket as he went on throughout his pro career.
Well, I think he'll get better. I don't think there's any question he's going to get better. I just don't know if it's good enough. I certainly would not compare him to Josh Allen by any stretch of the imagination. And if that's what you're trying to do, I'd say you're barking up the wrong tree. I don't think he's Josh Allen.
So what do you think,
Justin? Josh Allen,
go ahead.
I think Josh Allen is probably the best player in the league this year.
Of course, he's a couple of years ahead of Justin Fields, though. So I guess my question is, what do you think Justin Fields can be? What is his ceiling?
I don't know. I really don't know until you get better players around him. He just is not a quick trigger guy. It's hard for him to get rid of the ball quickly. He wants to run with it and find guys, a little bit like Cutler. I think that's the kind of player he is. He's good. I think he's got a chance of being probably a solid player in the league. Now, whether he'll be a great player, I hope he does. I really sincerely hope he does. He's a terrific guy and all that good stuff. But, from what I've seen, I don't see that.
So what are you looking at, Mike? And there's respect for your offensive mind schematically for decades and what you've seen in quarterbacks. Is it a matter of getting rid of it quickly, like before guys get open, not holding it too long so the defense adjusts? Like, what are you looking at with Cutler and with Fields and other guys that makes you confident to write them off this early?
Yeah, I'm not writing the kid off. I'm just you're comparing him to Josh Allen. I'm not ready to do that by any stretch of magic.
Gotcha, but what are you seeing in these tell us what you're seeing as an analyst that makes you think these guys might never develop it.
He's hold the ball. They're reluctant to get rid of the ball, and then they'll miss throws that they should never miss. And those are the kinds of things the really great ones don't do when they first come in. I think that. Josh Allen, when he's up there, had some of those problems, but in college he never did that. So I think he had a pretty good idea that he's got a chance. Now maybe Justin Fields turns into Josh Allen. I don't know, but at this point, I would say no.
Yeah, Josh Allen's first 11 starts, he completed 52% of his passes. Justin Fields completes 59%. Their yards are basically identical.
There you go. He'll be a Hall of Famer.
Oh, I'm not saying he will be or won't be. Mike, I'm not saying he will be or won't be. I just think 11 starts it's early to think that potential is gone when we know he is not surrounded by a bunch of talent, and we know the coaching was bad last year, and the game that video where you were talking about both of those quarterbacks was in a monsoon.
I think the guy that I was really kind of dogging was Trey Lance. And
but he's got
I think
3
Justin,
starts.
Yeah, well, I don't care. He 100 starts. I just don't see it. But I think Justin with better players, just like Cutler, I think that he'll improve and get better. But the guy get better in the offensive line. The guy give him some receivers. Otherwise, nobody's got a chance.
Yeah, see, we could look at numbers. Danny could look at stats, but you're talking about something you see when you look at these guys, and it's holding the ball too damn long, and you don't believe that can develop. You've mentioned Cutler. Mike, we were here watching that entire run. Why couldn't Cutler make your system work? He eventually tell Martz I said F you, famously on a headset.
Yeah, he did, which is amazing because we got along terrific. I never had any issues with him. I don't know how that got repeated or whatever, or even if he actually did say it. But the whole idea there is we had to change what we did with him, and he had his best 2 years in his career with us. And I think when he got hurt in 2011, we were on our way. We were on a roll. We were going good, and he was going good, and we lost, Johnny and he and Matt Forte in the course of 1 week, I think, and that just took the air out of the balloon. But you just have to change what you do with him. You just can't miss throws. He was a guy that occasionally would miss one, but he's a guy that wanted to hang on to the ball, and so you just got to make sure that you can protect him and move him around and really rely on the running game.
Talking to
Which
Mike.
we did. We went to 50-50, and I wanted him to throw the ball a little bit more, but we couldn't protect him.
Last thing with Mike Martz. You want to set the record straight on Greg Olson? Everyone's convinced that Mike Martz wanted Greg Olson ran out of town.
Somebody else just told me that today, too. They told me after Greg left that he left. I had nothing to do with that.
Did you want tight ends, though, that would block and not run routes? The perception was that you had no real use for a pass-catching tight end in your offense.
It's just so dumb, that kind of statement, because with the tackles that we had to have a tight end to block. Otherwise, we wouldn't win a game. Color wouldn't have survived. Unfortunately, we had to ask him to do things. I knew what he was. Look at the playoff game, against Seattle. I knew what he was. We got him the ball. He made big plays. The problem was to get there, as we grew in the offensive line, got a little bit better, we had to use him in a way that it wasn't excited about using him, but we had to. And then he wanted to get paid, and, the Bears, so that's kind of the way it went, but that had nothing to do with that.
Bears were a little cheap in your mind?
Well, I don't know about that. They're hard. They're hard negotiators. They just are, and he wanted to get paid, and he wanted to go someplace we're going to throw him the ball out, I guess. And I never talked to him after the season about it, and neither the Bears nor Olsen. So, no, I didn't get rid of anybody.
See, the perception was, Mike, that everybody was just doing what you wanted to do because you were the guy with the pedigree from the Rams.
Yeah, let me tell you something. I sat in my office and nobody walked through that door to ask me a question.
Okay, so
the up front, Ted was going to do what Ted was going to do. I'll tell you something else. We got a chance to sign Mark Bulger in 2011 for nothing, for $1 million a year as a backup quarterback. Because I told him, I said, look, this guy runs around just like last year. There's a chance he gets hurt. We've got to have a good backup. Mark called. He wanted to come. I pleaded with him to sign him. And, for $1 million, the base on it, the minimum was $800 for a veteran. They said no, and he went to Baltimore for $4 million a year. So, just think if we had him when Color went down, it would have been a whole different season. But that upset me because it was a chance to cover your bases there and win and all that good stuff. So we had to have big tight ends to help with the tackles. Our tackles really, really struggled. And that's why that whole situation arose. But they never asked me about Greg Olson. That discussion never happened.
You going to be attending Ted Phillips' retirement party?
Yeah, I probably won't get a Christmas card, I can tell you that.
Okay. So right. Mike Martz is saying Ted Phillips traded Greg Olson, not Mike Martz. That's what you're saying?
No, I didn't say that. I said the front office had led by Ted Phillips. Okay. Those guys make those decisions. I don't know who made that decision. I assume it was either he or the GM. I don't know. How would I know who makes that decision? I know it wasn't me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mike Martz from the 33rd team.
I do know that he didn't want Mark Bulger. I can tell you that.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll be watching to see if Justin Fields improves as a pocket passer. We'll remember the conversation, and we'll check back in. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll see him in the Hall of Fame.
The same class as Josh Allen. Thank you, Mike.